popular opinion here in France, where I am, is also highly divided on this issue. Today, we saw the far-right commentator Eric Zemmour confirming that he's going to be a presidential candidate in the election in a few months. He sees immigration as the number one problem facing France. But France does take in more asylum seekers every year than Britain does. And, of course, one of the big points of friction between the UK and France on this issue is that Boris Johnson wants all of the migrants who succeed in crossing the Channel illegally to be sent back to France. And the French are rejecting that. They say that they would be prepared to take some of them back, provided Britain takes in child refugees, i.e. children who have been accorded the status of refugees because they come from war-torn countries or they're fleeing persecution. So, I mean, it's a really difficult problem. I think it's a global problem, and you can't just wish it away, because as long as extreme poverty and conflicts are going on in the Middle East, in Africa, people are going to continue to come. But one thing the French government says is that Britain is working against itself because of its loose labour laws. It's much easier for illegal immigrants to slip into the grey economy and to work without papers in the UK than it is in France or other European countries.
That's true.
And so the French are asking the British government... Sorry, carry on.
Let me ask you this, David, since you brought up Monsieur Zemmour, and you're quite right. Monsieur Zemmour says that immigration is war. That's his view of it. But isn't it the case that he announced today his presidential campaign because the previous so-called far-right figure, Marine Le Pen, is not regarded as being sufficiently far-right on this issue? In other words, he saw an opening because he thought Marine Le Pen had gotten a little squishy on this subject, and the buzz around him suggests that he may well be right in that calculation.
Yeah, the initial buzz around him certainly suggested that there was an appetite for what Zemmour had to say, but in recent days, his poll ratings have been slipping. He's lost one of his big financial backers. And so the Zemmour phenomenon may turn out to have been not much more than a flash in the pan. It is certainly true that Marine Le Pen, who for years has incarnated the far-right anti-immigration platform in France, has tried to, as she puts it, detoxify her party by making it a bit more moderate in an effort to attract more mainstream traditional conservative voters. And the risk when she does that is that she loses core support from more extreme people. So difficult position for her to be in.